Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Mysteries of Life. And for some of you, you know that I'm Connie Vawter. And today's going to be a kind of a real get up and go day, I think, because Spirit was all over it today and said, this is what we're going to talk about. And I had some time this morning and they gave me some Bible references and I thought, oh, how cool is that? So I had to take a few minutes and read about those things because I thought, well, what am I talking about? But of course, when I did reference and I looked at, and guess what? It's all about the spiritual things. It's all about spirit. And when we take and, well, when I try to come into your life and share with you, I just like to take a second and have you get yourself quiet and kind of clear your mind and get into your oneness. It's not my oneness, it's yours. Because we all have our own little idiosyncrasies that we have to work out. And we have to say, okay, can I deal with this? Can I not? But let's just take a minute and just ask for the divine presence, our Heavenly Father, our all-knowing, whatever works for you. For me, God is divinity. He is my highest source. He could be your creator. He could be whatever you need it to be. But for me, I always think of him as my Christ within me, and knowing that he is going to be with us today and guide us and give you some words of wisdom. I found a document that I wrote. I wrote one back in 78, but I didn't date this one. So I don't know when I wrote this one. So it's just kind of funny. And I thought, okay, because they're telling me I need to write more and write things down. And I have been negligent in doing that. So I have to really discipline myself because I'm doing the ministerial school and I'm, trying, and I'm doing my own spiritual work. And every Friday we have a class here and we channel and get all the good information and things. And it's just a powerhouse of wonderful things. And it's my service to you to be able to share what my life has been like and how I have had to grow. And one of the things that I think about often is my parents, because my folks were not people that were dogmatic about anything. They were free will. Let you, whatever you, if you, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to do in life. There's nothing holding you back but yourself. So as a young child, and they also were very much aware that I was a different child, that I had, that I had a friend in the spirit world that they didn't see or know. And then as I grew older and started sharing more with my mother, and so as we mature, we try to gain some insight. And when I went through, I've gone through a few marriages, and I think back at that, and I think, I thought I was a failure in the marriage in relationships. And then I realized that I didn't fail at all. Those were all lessons, and how I handled them and what I did with them and how I raised my children to be the women that they are today. And both girls are very successful businesswomen, and they are independent and do their own thing. They don't need mama. Mama's already kind of fluffed them out of the nest and said, listen, this is your journey. You walk it, you love it, and you take ownership of it. I'm doing my thing, and they love me for me doing my thing, and I'm happy. And I was telling Neshi this morning, there are no words in the English language that can describe how I feel at this time in my life. I only can tell you that I have the love of my Christ in my heart, in my soul, every fiber of my body. And I know that he watches over me and loves me and takes care of me. And it's just not the Christ in me, it's the Christ in you. We are all connected through a fine thread. And as we start to grow and find things out about ourselves, and then you say to yourself, how did I ever get through that? Well, there's a song. The song, and it, Christy Lane, I don't know who made it popular, but I know Christy Lane sings it. And it's where he carries us to footprints in the sand. And there's a poem or a verse or whatever. And when I hear her sing that, and I thought to myself, oh, I have felt that way. That I felt like, oh, look at that. You didn't, there's only one set of footprints in the sand, and they're mine, right? No, my child, they're mine. I carried you through. And that's where we are. We're helping each other. That's what my goal is to help you, not to literally carry you, but to give you insight, to help you find your spiritual self, looking for and going into. Don't be afraid to step out there. When you do step out, sometimes you lose friends because they don't understand. And Lord, that's not bad. That's just they don't understand. And it's okay. Because when the right people are supposed to be, they will be. And that's the fun part, is that when all of a sudden you get the realization and you say, oh my goodness sakes, this is so exciting, I can hardly stand myself. And here we are. And as we set ourselves aside and go within, you have to set, I don't know how, I have spirit here. I mean, at my house, we're talking 24/7. That's just my way of life. That's just the way it is. And it's not bad. It's just, well, that's just the way I am now. And I love it. And it's that I don't have to sit in a chair and get quiet and say, oh, I need to be, but I do that. I do that for the discipline. But there's times we're just having a conversation 24/7. It's like, sometimes I will just say, all right, guys, just shut her down because I got to think about something else. And they'll say to me, no, Connie, you have to listen because these are things that are going to help you in the next day or so. And so, okay. So then I listen and then I say, oh, okay. And so even, I never thought that, and I'll share this with you, I never thought that I would ever have a job, another job in my life. But it's all working. And you know why it's working? Because God is he's in the driver's seat. My Creator is in the driver's seat. And that's where you want him to be, in your driver's seat. You want him to be there. When I go out of this house, I always ask for Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael, Jesus, the Holy Mother. Whatever I need, I ask them to be with me, protect me, and guide me. Because in my home, they are here doing that 24/7. But once I step out and I go into the unknowns, then I need their protection, their guidance. And that's what I want to share with you, is that you need to incorporate those things in your life. If you say, well, gee, Connie, I don't deal with the angels and I don't deal with all that stuff. Well, you don't have to deal with all that. You need to deal with your Christ self, your higher self, and ask that your higher self be with you at all times. You need to recognize that. it's not some of the spiritual things. And when I was thinking about it this morning, and I did, I wrote down some for you folks who are biblical and want to have something. I need something to chew on. I need to look it up in a book. I need to find it. I can't just accept things of the unknown, of the unseen. Well, that to me is a natural thing. But for you folks who can't do that, think of go into Romans 1:11. Now I'm just going to give you the numbers so you can write them down if you want. That's Romans 1:11, and then 15:27, chapter 15 and 27. Then they're going to tell you to go to another chapter in Romans to I think it's chapter 11:17, and then they tell you to go on to Corinthians 9:11. Now, what that does is these are all little phrases in there or verses that talk about the spiritual things, the manna, the things that Christ talked about. And when we all are trying to find in 1 Corinthians 10:3, and that one is pretty hefty, and it goes into chapter 15, verse 44. And then when you read those verses, it will reference you back to other verses in the Bible. It'll take you back to the Old Testament. And you can and then when you go to the Old Testament, then it's going to flip you back up into the New Testament. And just follow it. Follow the trail. And Ephesians 1:3 and chapter 5:19. Now, I'll tell you what I used to have on my computer when I worked at the Catholic Church, because I was their accountant for 10 years. But anyway, I had Ephesians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. So everything that I do through Christ, through the teachings, through the thought process. When my doctor a year and a half said to me, this is a year and a half ago, was it March? I got to think of it. We're in 18. Was it 17? I guess it maybe. Yeah, I think it was early 17. He said, well, Connie, you got a problem here. But he said, you can do whatever you want. You can, at your age, you can just say, I'm just going to ride it on out and see how it goes, or you can change it. So I decided to change it. So a year later, I have perfect blood work. I'm down 60 pounds. And it's all because I sat down with my Creator, my Christ, and said, okay, here I am. What is it what can I do so that I can, I think I got a lot to offer. So I did. I sat down, I meditated, and I got some direction. And my next time I had to go to the doctor and weigh in and my blood work, he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, you told me I had to change them. He says, well, you certainly have. He had smiley faces all over my blood work. Then the next, then it was that I was seeing him every 3 months. Then all of a sudden he says, oh, no, it's 6 months now. So now here we are out 6 months. Now we're a year out. Now, when the last time when I saw him, he couldn't hug me. He hugged me twice, maybe it was 3 times, I don't know, before I got out of that office. He could not believe all the things that I had done. And he said, Connie, how did you do that? And I said, I didn't do it. My spiritual family took care of me. So I changed everything, the way I eat. No, the average person could not eat the way I eat in my household, but it's just me, so it's okay. And if there's, it's all right to be different. You got to understand that. It's okay to be different. Now, I'm going to read you some part of it, because of what I'm talking about today has a lot. I wish I would have dated this, because whoever I must have been channeling, because it said blessings be everyone. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my word, when did I write that? So anyway, it says, when we throw away all of our masks that we wear to put on our soul, take off the mask and put on your soul. Now, that is pretty heavy, but it's cool. Now, your at oneness will cost you people and relationships, spaces, and material things. It will. When you decide, sometimes, and it's not easy. I just love when people say to me, gee, Connie, I just can't get it. I just can't understand half the stuff you say. And I just say, oh, blessings be. Because they're just, it's not their journey this time around or whatever. It isn't their fault. But you know what? If you want it to be your change in this lifetime, you can. I don't care how old you are. You can make the change. If you're 80, if you're 90, doesn't matter. Because the awakening is there. That one-ment is there. Now it's a choose at your oneness over everything. Choose at your at one-ment over everything. That was pretty heavy for me. I thought, oh wow. Your heart and my heart are very old friends. Haven't you met somebody that you thought, golly, it's just like meeting a kindred soul, you know? And you just say, I just can't get over this, because it's our hearts. Our hearts are intertwined. I just love that. And when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. So when you plant your roots, you don't have to fear the wind, because you're anchored in, you're strong, and they're there. Now, and when you are your own, he says, you are your own healer. Now, I'm an example of that. He says, you are your own healer. It is your courage to be and love yourself completely. Embrace your wounds as your sacred teacher. Now, that's pretty heavy duty stuff. But you know what? If you take your wounds and look at them and say, thank you, Lord. I needed to learn that lesson. What can I do to be better? What can I do to make it better? Right here, right now, with all your flaws, you are exactly and who and what and where you are supposed to be. And there is stardust in your eyes. Now that I must have channeled that, because it says blessings be everyone, but I didn't date it. I'm so sorry I didn't date that, but it's all right, because I found it and I was able to share it with you all. And when we are going through things, and when you are going through some spiritual things, and people kind of talk to you and say, oh, I don't think I can deal with that, and all this stuff. Don't let that discourage you from your journey. Don't allow somebody else to put a damper on what you're trying to do and what you're trying. If you need to move, now, who would have known that I would have moved to the sunny state of Florida? Now that's and you know that the 24th of June, am I right? June 24th, yes, is the day I moved in here. 4 years ago. And it's hard to believe. And I never would have believed that I would ever be back in Florida. My parents lived in Fort Myers for years. But I just never thought, okay. Well, then when my child said, well, I'm moving you to Florida. And why here? Why Pinellas Park? Don't know. Don't know. But I'm here. And I've served in my community in which I live. I've done some fun things with those folks. I did that for 2 years. And that's what Spirit said to me, okay, Connie, clear the decks. And I said, what do you mean clear the decks? You got things to do. Well, then the show was born. And then I just, all of us, and then I went to some retreats here. I found a place that I felt comfortable and got a new perspective on myself, and thought, I think I can rekindle all the years that I had put everything on hold. It was never on hold. It was always cooking. And that's the thing, is that if you sometimes, you're put in a position and you think to yourself, why am I here? Why am I still in this location? Why am I here? Spirit will move you when you have to go. When and where, and that's when it's supposed to happen, and not 1 minute before. And I think about that, and I think, if somebody would have said to me, oh, gee, Connie, I think we ought to, just pack it up and move to Florida, I'd say, are you crazy? I had a good job. I was working like a trooper. And then up and says, no, we're going to Florida, Mom. Well, here I am, and loving every minute of it. I guess what's the words? Help me out here. I guess it's my gratitude that I'm able to be with the show, to continue it. Lord, never thought I'd be talking for an hour. And but the Spirit says, don't worry about it. We got you covered. We got lots of things to share and lots of things to do. And one of the things that I encourage people, let's say if somebody let's just say you're studying something and you say, well, I don't know why I'm studying this. Well, you're supposed to be. That's why you're studying it. They gave you the direction, even though you probably thought, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And sometimes you'll say, well, gee, do I need to go take that class? Well, maybe you do. Maybe you don't. It just depends on where you're walking. What are you trying to see? What are your needs? And where are you going? And one of the things that I think about with myself is that for so many years, I mean, I was so active back in the 70s, late 60s, 70s, and in the early 80s in the spiritual world, working, readings. I mean, I had people lined up out the door waiting to see me. Well, then to take in, okay, so I got married, and my husband didn't want me doing that anymore. Well, so you walk away from that. But Spirit, they just say, okay, we'll just put it on hold for a little bit. And, and for us, it was 30 years. That's a long time. But to Spirit, there is no time. There is no time. So they said, okay, hey, listen, you got through all that. You passed the test, girl. Now let's go. We got good things going for you. And when they said you're going to Florida, my priest said to me, are you crazy? What are you doing? Packing it up and just going to Florida just because your kid says you're going to go to Florida? I said, absolutely. I trust her. She is looking out for my well-being. For some unknown reason, my child is guiding and directing me. So I have to go. He could not understand that. For the life of him, couldn't understand that. And I said, I can't fight it. I said, I prayed about it. and I'm supposed to go. And it was quite an event. And a lot of folks that I left behind, some of them still contact me and are okay with it. And some of them, I don't know that they really probably think I've gone down the wrong path, because I'm not involved in the Catholic Church anymore. And but that's all right. It's okay. It doesn't. I had some wonderful teachings and learned a lot of things in the 13 years that I was there. Okay? Doesn't mean it was a lost cause, because our Holy Mother and I connected in that time frame. That was my blessing. And the spiritual experiences that I had when I was in the churches was phenomenal. So when people say, well, you have to leave your base. No, you don't have to leave your base. That's your foundation. That's what you were raised in. Or if you're raised in the Lutheran church, I was raised in a Lutheran church. But I went to other churches. I don't think there was one that I never, well, maybe there's a few there that I didn't venture into, but I did a lot. And so I was always searching. And that's what it's all about. When you can take and search and find the good, because everybody has something good. And I would take the good from that and walk with it and say, oh, I can incorporate that in my life. I like that. And so here we are. So now, so what I'm saying to you is, when you think, the barriers, you're not growing, or you're stifled, you can't get to where you need to be, you just know that when the time is right, God will pick you up and literally move you, because that's what he did with me. He will physically pick you up and say, okay, you're on your way. Get your stuff, get going. And that's a blessing, to know that he's watching over you. Your Heavenly Father is not going to move you faster than you're supposed to move. That's a fact. And so here we are now, today, all together. And I want you to feel good about yourself and what you're experiencing. If you're feeling, kind of like you're in a downer. Now we're all in retrograde. If you watched Julie the other day on her little show, Friday I channeled, and one of the things that came out in the channeling was to slow it down. Move everything. I mean, everything was just, almost come to not a screeching halt, but just slow everything down. And then when I heard her show, and I thought, oh my God, there she is. She's talking about something we already spiritually received, that, and I don't study that stuff. I don't study astrology. So that's not part of my gig. And I think, oh, look, because I always try to tune into her, because I always want to catch up on stuff. And when I heard her say that, I said, oh, God, look at that. Two kindred hearts meeting together in the same vein. And she's out there trying to share the same things that I'm thinking I received. And I thought, how awesome is that we are receiving things differently, but yet the same, in the same manner, the same source. And she's out there saying, slow it down. If you're getting into traffic and you don't know what to do. And I thought to myself, and I deal with that, a lot of traffic down here in Florida. And I'm thinking to myself, and I try to be cool, and say, okay, hey, we don't have to be in a hurry today. No, nothing has to be in a hurry. And so when you're thinking about things between now and what did she say? And then in July, just take it cool, just, go slow. But the summer is this next July, August, going into September, we have to take things in a slow mode. And that's okay. It's okay to back it up. I use the phrase, hey, back up the bus. I gotta go off. That's what my phrase. My kid taught me that phrase. So, but anyway, because one day I was talking, and she said, hey, Mom, back up the bus. And I said, oh, I like that. So I'm going to use that. So here we are, So we still learn from our children. And And I have to share with you, I have a great grandbaby, brand new little girl, and she's just beautiful. She's got pink rosy cheeks and black curly, or just black hair, lots of hair. And I thought to myself, oh, I didn't think to ask her mother if she had heartburn when she carried that, because everybody used to tell us if you have a lot of heartburn, your baby's going to have a lot of hair. But that's not always a true factor. But anyway, she's doing very well, and mother's doing very well. So I'm happy about that, and I hope that they have a wonderful journey. They're up in Michigan, and so anyway, and my Gianni, who is 4 now, he's talking. He wants to talk to Gigi, and well, Gigi's going to make me some cupcakes. Well, Gigi's down here in Florida. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but anyway, maybe they're going to come here. I don't know. But anyway, and my grandson Joseph, he's in Kokomo, Indiana, with his family, and they're all doing well. And then I have a granddaughter who I've not seen, and I'll share this with you. The last time I saw her was in November of 1999, and she's a nurse. I do know that, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And she's probably 33, 34, maybe. Let's see, what she was born December 31st, 1983. So, but anyway, I had some beautiful years with that child. I was like her mama for a while, and went to her class functions and did some things and took care of the children when they were very young. But, everybody makes their choice. And I wish her well. I can't say I miss her, because there's so many years between it that it's like, okay, she's chose her road, and if life is good for her, that's all I wish. And I love her. I guess if I got to see her again, I'd be thrilled to death. But if not, that's okay too, because we each have our own journey and our own walk. And sometimes parents make that decision, like some parents make a tough decision to take that tough love road when they have to with their children. And that's not easy. That's not an easy road to walk. I've had to walk that. In fact, I will tell you that. I'm going to share some personal things with you today, because I think it's important that you know that I do have things happen to me, even though life is so good and I'm in the kingdom, but it still happens. Life is life. And I don't know, my children probably will say, oh, mother, you shouldn't share your personal stuff with the world. But, well, you are my life. You are my world. And so here we are. So my one daughter was having some problems, and I listen. I do listen, and I counsel her. But I let her be her decision. It's her decision. It's final. But I do not want to be in the drama. I am not a drama queen. I cannot stand drama. I avoid it like the plague. And so when people start, all of a sudden, everything is in drama mode, then you will see me step back and slide, because I don't want to be in the drama mode. I'm not comfortable there. I want things to be smooth. My house, that's why I love my little house. I try to keep things in here quiet and in a positive mode, where things are okay, and if somebody comes into my home, they feel comfortable. It's a peaceful place. It's my little temple. It's my little home. Just like my body is now is like your temple. And we have to look at those things and say, okay. And I'm always trying to do things. One day I had some Roy Orbison music, and I flipped that on, and a friend of mine walked in and said, hey, you're rocking the joint, Well, okay, mostly I listen to gospel music, but, that day I thought I needed a little shot in the arm, something upbeat. So I did. So, I mean, we all have to do what we have to do sometimes. And those are the things that when you're reaching out and you're trying to grow spiritually, Don't criticize yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep going and know that, and I always try to incorporate everything that I do with Christ. And now, not everybody can relate to that. So whatever source you have, if it's the Creator, or if it's the Holy Mother, I mean, she has been so intricate. She is so intricate in my life. Oh, woman is, well, I shouldn't call her a woman. Her spirit is so ingrained with me, and I am so blessed. And now, when I said earlier today that I need to start to write, she is the one that's saying we need to write. And so, oh, I get the goosebumps. Ooh. Anyway, so we know what we have to do, and so right now, but it seems like my life is kind of, now I'm working, and I'm ministerial, and I have other things that I'm working on, and my plate's full. So I have to make time for me, and yet in knowing that God He's going to take care of me. He looks after me, and I love that song, God will take care of you. Be not dismayed, ere betide. God will take care of you. And I do, one of my favorite songs is I love to tell the story. I love to tell the story. And I do. And it's like, it's my story, but I like to share it in hopes that it might open up some light for you, and know that when we're thinking about things, when I was in the Lutheran Church, one of my favorite songs was Stand Up for Jesus. Because it seemed like that's the only song. It seemed like every Sunday we were singing Stand Up for Jesus, and I thought to myself, how cool is that? But as a kid, I can remember when I was in catechism class, I didn't understand some things. And I can remember that in the Nicene Creed, it talks about Catholic. And I said, oh. And I said, what does that mean? Are we Catholic? And the minister said, no, that is universal. That means universal, means all. And I said, oh, okay. All right, that's cool. I can deal with that. So, but there's always things that, as you know, when you're young, you're so impressionable. But you need to take the seeds that were given to you at that time and incorporate them into your life. And say, oh, I am so happy. And just knowing, I don't know if I ever told you that I used to sing in the day, and I used to do Patsy Cline. And we recorded and took it to Nashville. And the young kid that worked with me at the time, he said, I want to take you to Nashville. I said, you want to take it to Nashville? He said, yeah. I said, listen, I'm too old for this. Because I was in my 40s at that time. He says, oh, no. He says, you got something. So we take it to Nashville. And we went to Capitol Records. We went to Warner Brothers. We went to all of them, right down the road, and dropped off our tapes. Well, we got the only person that wrote back to us was Warner Brothers, and thanked us for the tape and for the work that we had done, but said that right now they were working and promoting a female artist, and that artist, as we all know and love, is Reba McEntire. That's when she was cracking it and making it happen. And so when, not to say that I have anything of that magnitude, I don't. Don't misunderstand that. But, just to have them come back with a letter and just say that. And so it was fun. It was an experience. And when I came back home, of course I was working. I was still working in the corporate world at that time. I thought, oh my. And I thought to myself, I can't be doing this. I got a corporation to run. I can't be out there, which is doing country music. But I did do that. But on the side, it's a fun thing to do. And it was fun. But those are things that, you have to let share life's experiences and have your experience and go on from that and take from that, which, you think, oh, that was wonderful. And then just put it together. Well, then when I came here, things changed. I took some voice lessons for a year. Now I'm taking piano lessons. Oh, that's another thing I'm learning. So you see, I got to spend time on the keyboard, and I'm learning to play Amazing Grace. And I got both hands on the keys now, and I can do that. So just to let you know that if you want to, you can do anything you want to do, no matter what it is. If it's your health, if it's recreational fun that you needed. Oh my goodness sakes, I didn't all tell you this. I went out and played 9 holes of golf. First time in 13 years, and didn't do well. But then I went out again with a friend, and she said she was a beginner too. I said to her, I said, listen, I can't hit the broadside of a barn. So anyway, we went out there and we did 9, and we had so much fun. 7 o'clock in the morning, we were teeing off. And I did a par. I did par on the first hole. I could hardly stand myself. I got so excited. And I thought to myself, okay. So then we just, went on through. But those are the things that, we have to let ourselves do things. And I thought to myself, a year and a half ago, I would have never been able to do that. I would not have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to bend over and pick up a ball. Well, my first 9 that I did, we did more than 9, I think. But anyway, the person I was with said, I don't know, I think we got to the 14th hole, said, you're done. You're tired. We got to quit. And I said, oh, no, you go. No, we're done. And so we got off the course. But now the second time I went, man, I was geared up, ready to go. And you know what? I could reach down and pick that ball up out of that cup, just as slick as it went. And I was able to putt. I was putting up a storm, but my drives aren't there yet, but I was putting up a storm. So that just tells you what happens. And it was fun. And out there in nature, out there and you just say, oh, God is so good. He just gives us every opportunity. Now, like I said, a year and a half ago, I could not have done that. I just would not. And so here I am. Now I'm doing that. I don't know how on a regular basis, but anyway, I did it. And I'm playing the piano, and I'm talking to you folks, and Spirit comes through, and it's such a blessing to be able to share the spiritual things with you that are happening in my life, even at this time. I read a lot of books, and one of the things I want to share with you today, and I don't know why we're going there, but this is what they're showing me, is the alchemy of things. And so if you have a desire, Saint Germain, The Alchemy of Saint Germain is an awesome book. Now, I don't know how you can get your hands, maybe probably get that through Amazon or whatever, but it's an avenue or a book that you can incorporate a knowledge of learning about yourself, about the spirit world, and helping you get, there's all kinds of books out there. But I ran across that one and I grabbed it up, and now I'm reading another book on the Shamanistic, which is a new thing for me. And And so I thought, okay, for some reason that I picked that book up, and I was at a bookstore, and oh, there it was. Boom, jumped out at me. And there was another book there, The Cohorns. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but I thought, oh, I got to have that book. And I brought it home, and I'm thinking, why did I buy that book? And then I thought, oh my goodness sakes. So there was just a whole raft of information. And also, I do a little bit of Rosicrucian work. I read a lot about that stuff. And I do that to broaden my horizon. Doesn't mean that you have to say, oh, well, I am this or I am that. I don't believe I'm anything, to be honest. I just believe that I'm an entity, a spiritual entity, a spirit in this physical body that's willing to step up to the plate and say to you folks, you can do anything you want to do. It doesn't matter. It's here. It's yours. And don't get discouraged. And if you're in a rut, just know that it's temporary. You're going to get out. One of these days, somebody's just going to pull you right out. And you're going to say, oh, I'm ready to go. Bye. And then you're going to go. And I do say that I do miss my children. Even though my daughter, Christine, is here in Florida, she's a very busy woman and very much involved in her job. And but you know what? She's living her own life. She's busy doing things. She checks in with me periodically and say, oh, my mom's doing okay. Okay, that's cool. And then she's on her, we don't hover over each other. We know that we're a mother and a daughter, and we know we love each other. But we aren't hovering and saying, oh, gee, do you need this or do you need that? Well, we don't do that. Because spiritually, we talk to each other. We do. And she knows I'm okay. Otherwise, she'd be over here. And the same thing with my daughter up north. She'll call me and say, Mom, you doing okay? Oh, yeah. I'm cool. And she'll say, well, I'll say, well, what you got on your mind? I knew when the phone was ringing. I thought, oh, I know who this is before I picked up the phone. And you can look at your phone and see who's calling you. But on my landline, I still can do that, but I don't look. I just pick it up because not too many people call me on my landline. So I just figure they better know me. So anyway, I pick up that phone and, oh, hi, hon, how you doing? Well, so then we have to have our little conversation. And I appreciate the fact that she's always looking for wisdom, the spiritual wisdom. She'll say, well, why am I having to go through this? And I'll say, well, you went through this how many times? Now, do you want to pass on to the next grade? Do you want to go to the next level? Or do you want to stay in the same grade again? That's what it is. We're in school here. You're gonna keep repeating the same grade over and over again until you decide, hey, I'm done. I'm moving on. And that's what you're going to do. Now, there's nothing I can do about that. That's your life. It's your journey. Now, I used the phrase one time that when you fall off the side of the road in the pucker bushes, that, you have to work yourself out of that. You have to pick it off and say, okay, it's just how did I get down here? How did I do that thing, But now you just got to say, I can do this and I can get out of this mess and go. Or you can sit and you can say, okay, I guess I bet, well, you're going to sit there or you're going to get up and go. It's your choice. And if you're waiting, now some people say, I can't leave until Spirit tells me to. Oh, okay, then that's what you do. You wait until they tell you, and not 1 minute before. If they say to you, and you know that you need to go, then you have to say, okay. If they'll give you, they'll give you the signal, you'll know. And that's with life. Too many times, I think we get caught up in. I tell you right up front, I do not watch very little news. I can't stand it. I don't have any respect, I'm sorry to say, for the news media. I just don't. And I watch my local news to make sure that we're all okay down here in Pinellas Park, because that's where I live. And I want to make sure I'm okay, and Clearwater and St. Pete, and everybody's okay. So, and yesterday when I had a meeting downtown at the hotel, because I work there, but I only go there once a week and check in with those folks. And I decided to take the Gulf Boulevard up home, or back to the office, because I needed a water fix. I needed to see that Gulf of Mexico, that water. I needed that, what I call my beach fix. And as I come over the bridges and stuff, and I think, oh, there it is. That big body of water that has, you can see forever. And the glistening of the sun on the water. I love that. It is so beautiful, and it just like sucks me right in, and I'm just like, oh yeah, And then it's like, okay, I'm cool now, like I get my little shot in the arm that I need, and then I'm on my way, and away I go. But and it's so, I have to do that. If all I do is drive by, I don't need to put my feet in the water. I don't have to touch it. I just have to drive by and see it. And I thought, okay, I'm cool. And that all stems back to the very first time when I was here. And I had never traveled Gulf Boulevard before, but I had to go to Clearwater because my daughter had her condo on Clearwater Beach. And so I had to go meet the realtor there. And I may have shared this with you before. But anyway, I was coming up Gulf Boulevard, and I see it's just, there's an incline there. And I think, oh, okay. I don't realize that I'm getting ready to go across a bridge. That's when all of a sudden I realized that on my left, as far as I could see, was the Gulf of Mexico. And it was just, oh, Lord, I think it just died and went to heaven. But it was, it was just so, overwhelming. And I thought, and of course, on the other side is Clearwater Beach. But I thought to myself, just, I could hardly breathe. And so I got myself under control there for a second, and just went on up and down and went to do what I had to do. But that day is the day that really was where, from that point on, is where I realized I needed to go to the beach or see that water at least once in a while. And that's what I do. And it just, sometimes I just drive to get by water. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Gulf of Mexico. It could be just by water. And then I seem to, that must be the cancer in me. Because I do have when Julie did my astrology, there was I noticed a lot of cancer emotions and stuff going on with me. So I thought, I got to keep that in check. So I don't want to go overboard, or, because I'm on the cusp. I'm September 22nd. So, yeah. So I don't know, when you're in that in between, sometimes you're an air sign and then you're earth. And so, and I have to tell you, I have to go outside and get into Mother Earth because I got to pull my weeds. Nobody does that but me. And we've had a lot of rain, and I went out there this morning. And I thought, maybe I might pull a few weeds while it was raining. And I thought, I guess I can do that today. So I'll have to wait till we get a dry morning so I can go out there and pull my weeds. But those are just little things that, you say. And a year ago, I could not do that. I could not bend over and do that. I used to have to call the guy and say, can you come and pull my weeds? Because I can't do it. And now I can go out there and pull weeds. So I'm real happy about all that. And I want you to be happy about what's going on in your life, no matter what it is. If you're going through a tough time, just bless it. And dig your heels in. Now, you don't dig your heels in when you play golf. I can tell you that. But when you're out there in life, sometimes you have to take the ball of your feet and you hit your heels in, and just dig in and say, okay, I'm here. And I'm going to do the best job I know how to do, and handle everything with as much grace as you can. because life has so much to offer. And I'm just getting there. I think I got a new lease on life, and I'm looking forward to it. And I would like you to have that feeling too, and know that you can do anything that you want to do. There isn't anything that you can't do. And remember what I read over here. When it says right now, or right here, right now, with all your flaws. We all got flaws. I got flaws. Everybody's got them. You are exactly who and what and where you are supposed to be. And there is what? Stardust in your eyes. I love that. So as we're moving close to the end of the day here, I want you to know that I send you, and I want you to know from every fiber in me that I want you to have the very best of the best that you know how to be, and love yourself first and foremost, and just know and be still and know what? I am God. Remember that. I have been talking about the I am presence for so long, and it seems like I think, oh, is anybody hearing me? Yeah, you are, because I get feedback. So I am pleased with that, and know that the Christ, your higher self, always reach for that higher self. Sometimes you think, well, how do you get there? You get there. It's through a lot of hard work. Sometimes people go through what they say, the hell on earth. I hate to use that word, but sometimes they go through what they feel is hell on earth. But it's the process of learning, of going and doing. And you are all so, so special to me. I have someone who sees me from Brazil and has come on to my messenger, or, and I thought, how cool is that? And I thought to myself, I can't even speak Spanish. And I think maybe I need to start learning Spanish. But anyway, maybe in my next life, I don't know. But anyway, I think my plate's kind of full. But I want to read something to you today. And I'm going to take it out of our dear friend, Denise Iwana. It's a year of mystic angels. And I might have read something from here last time, but this is this Archangel Uriel, and you all know that he's my man, one of my most beloved. And it says, upon and within the fullness of your being lies celestial light supreme. Look not outwardly, but within your innermost dwelling for the one who loves you most of all. Once discovered, you shall learn to love yourself as the Creator loves you, with the unconditional love, endless compassion, and with a joy. I love the word joy. I love it. That knows no bounds. Bring your attention to the center of your being. Be aware of the light treasure that dwells deep within your heart center. Feel your light. Hear the light. See the light. Remember, you are boundless joy. Remember that, joy. Wrapped in what? Love. Forever shining the one cosmic light. Now, that's treasure in this little book. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Now, I absolutely love that little book. And I use the prayers and incantations of the light. I love that because she channeled our Holy Mother with that. And so there's a lot of things that we do. And another thing too is I have to say this because I love Neshi's card drawings once a day. She does that at 11 o'clock at our time. And when I can, I'm in there. but there's times I have to get the archive. But most of the time, I try to get when I can, I'm in. But sometimes I can't get there because I'm either in a meeting or something's going on. But I love that process, and I love my shows. The Polly Joe, when I can't see her, I get the archive. If I see Julie, sometimes I get her live, sometimes I don't. I get the archives. And tonight, Carl and Arthur Franklin are on, and they have such wisdom. I'll be in. If the Lord willing, I'll be there. But it's just that we have so much here at Star Nations to offer. And so be watching for the new classes that are coming, and know that we are doing some wonderful things here and are blessed. We are truly blessed. And till the next time, may the Lord bless and keep you.